and this is for the Butchies. Of course, in the old days, you know, they used to think that the Butch was on top and the Femme was on the bottom.
That's still true today, though.
That's all changed now.
Not entirely.
It's just about something that is lacking, or I felt was lacking in Minneapolis. A culture or a live music culture that has a queer focus and is queer friendly. Because you go to a lot of punk shows and it's not very queer friendly at all. You go to a lot of queer cultural things, and to me the culture isn't very interesting at all. So it's about creating a space where those kind of things can happen, a non-mainstream live music, all age, queer-friendly kind of culture and scene in Minneapolis. Live music is just a really special event. Like you can buy a CD or a record and listen to that band and think that they're really cool and like these songs are great, but when you go to a live show, there's like a whole bunch of other elements that come into play. Like it's the space that it's in, it's the people who are there, how the band feels that night. It creates a totally unique cultural experience. And so in that sense, like live music is just a really like special event. It only happens one time that way. Like there's only one time where you have a specific place, specific group of people watching, and the band is in a specific mood. Like there's only, the next night it should be completely different.
Performance art piece. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet you put $1 bet tomorrow.
It means like just being out on stage and being sort of I don't know about a role model necessarily, but you know, just being very out and like for people to see that it's like,
yeah, kind of being supportive and, you know, kind of giving people something to feel good about.
And especially right now at this time that we're on tour, it's like shortly after Matthew Shepard's death. So I think that there's been a lot of like little copycat things and a lot of like more homophobia in places that really there haven't been. Mm-hmm. So when we've played colleges or whatever, there's been incidences that have happened. So it's like for us to even be there on the stage, being out, and so forth is like, I think that it's really important for people as well as us too, just to have that support.
I mean, there's so many resources available at homocore shows too. There's always usually someone there from Streetworks like handing out information on, you know, shelters for homeless kids and counselors and where to get free needles and free condoms and free just everything.
There's a million obvious reasons to choose homocore. Go ahead. Well, I mean, it's like playing your family, you know? It's a totally different kind of support and ferocious passion and support that it's just not the same, you know, as being appreciated for being an art band in a straight club, you know, which is what we are in a straight club. In that way, we're a bisexual band. I mean, we play the straight clubs and we play homocore shows. And then it's a totally different deal.
At the time, an unknown reason, they asked if there were any heterosexuals in the audience, and I and my sister and a couple of the other people I was with, we raised our hands, and we were a pretty lonely group raising our hands.
And now it's time for the perverted part of our show. Now it's actually time for the submission part of our show. Who is the nice boy that wants to have sex with me, their boyfriend, on stage? Huh?
And don't be afraid, you're not a fag because you're doing it with a woman. You're a straight guy, she's a girl.
That's not
mean you're a fag.
That's not
You're
gonna
afraid
help.
of being a fag. No, she wants a straight guy.
There was a boy back there that raised his hand as representative of the straight boy community. Where is she? Is she here? Where's Larson? Is she here? No, you didn't let her come. You're sick. You made her stay home because you knew that she would not be going home with you if you brought her here tonight.
At first, I was like, this will be interesting, and whatever, and then after they started playing, and you know, I'm down there on my knees with my hands behind my back in front of a crowd of, you know, lesbians for the most part, and this wild pounding music is going, and she starts you know, beating me with this thing, and I'm like, okay, I can either do this or I can whinny out and suffer. And I'm like, I'm not gonna play that game. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna have a good time with this. I'm gonna give them what they're giving to me, which is a good time and a good, you know, I mean, when a band goes out and really plays for you and they're really into it, they're giving you something. I thought it was sort of a sharing thing where, you know, she was gonna show me as a heterosexual male what it's like to have somebody insist that you get down on your knees and perform oral sex on them.
And that's why it's good to play both. Like as much as playing clubs and stuff, a different group of people will come to the clubs. So sometimes older guys will come that won't know about all ages shows. So
yeah, you want. I mean, there's the other side of the spectrum, definitely. It hasn't. When we first started, we never had older guys coming to our shows at all, and it wasn't until we played in Michigan where we sort of, you know, got some sort of like women's music validation.
The punk community listens to vinyl.
Right.
We're all about the vinyl.
They should.
Yeah. Because CDs are fascist and they're a product of the capitalist bourgeoisie oppressive society.
We did a radio show we did a radio show 2 weeks ago, and we're putting out a flexi disc, you know, like place penny here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's
you probably blew a fuse. Probably blew a fuse.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose those are 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
This one's called Total Drool Fest.
All right, this is good. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I tuned to the piano.
Take 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like turn down shows, you know. So it happens to be this Homocore thing, and like the three of us totally support. Like if I had a strong belief in something, I believe that these guys would support me unless it's ludicrous, you know. And like as far as that, I'm like behind Brett because you're gay, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Real subtle, Jared.
But I mean, you know, that's why I'm there. Because of, especially because of you, because it's your thing and it's like cool to play and I love to play and fuck, that's it, you know?
Yeah.
Really young kids, you know, however, really young kids are coming to shows is the best thing in the world. To have to wait until you're 21 to see music is a crime, and that shouldn't happen. And it's just really important to not have any kind of, not have those kind of barriers, like to give people access to culture and music who wouldn't normally have it. I think it just brings in people who like are genuinely interested in the music and what's going on, and that's why they come there. Like they don't come there because I'm going to go down to the Red Eye Theater because lots of cool people hang out there, you know? They're going there because they care about the music, and because of that, you know, back to how I was saying before about how live music is a really special one-time experience. Like because of that, you bring lots more, I think, lots more interesting people in to see a band. So that's why I just prefer like putting on shows in places that you wouldn't normally go to see a rock band. And why I kind of steer clear of I steer clear of bars because you can't do all-age shows very easily, and I just think that it would ruin the whole atmosphere. And I think that's maybe what bands are referring to when they can't quite put their finger on it. It's a totally different energy. And you go, and especially like I really try hard to like talk to people at shows who I don't know, and you know, try to talk to people who I see on a regular basis at the shows and talk to them, and talk to like people who I think, you know, maybe it's the first time they've ever come to a show. Because you go to a rock venue, you go to a straight punk rock show at Extreme Noise or in somebody's basement, and like, you know, it's not, people kind of walk around like it's not cool for me to just talk to somebody I don't know. Like I'm just going to brush you off and make you maybe feel crappy, you know. I was totally surprised. You know, I send out these press releases and like somebody actually calls me up and wants to do an interview, and so I was kind of surprised. And so she wrote a big article in the Daily about it, and then it got written about on the A-list. And like those things, to me, are just like totally invaluable in terms of like getting people to show. And that's what I care about doing. Like I've gotten some criticism from punk people in the past, like we don't really care if we get pressed for shows. We don't really, that stuff's not important to us. Well, you know, it's not important to me either that I get praised in the local press, but it's important to me that like people who have, that kids find out about the shows, that everybody finds out about the shows, and I'll do whatever it takes to get to that point. Right? You know, I don't have any money for advertising, but I'll use whatever I can, whatever resources I can to help get people to those shows. It's just so ironic to me that the straight press can adequately cover like a queer issue, but it's because they also get the music part of it, whereas like the queer press can kind of cover the queer part, but they don't really understand why you don't want to be a part of the mainstream queer culture, or why, you know, what's wrong with going to Calliope chorus shows, you know. The other cool thing that like in the fall of '96, when like the support was overwhelming for from like people like Christina and Danny and Amy, was that I also was coming out as transsexual, and like I was really nervous about that in terms of being a part of the music scene. I was really nervous about that, and I sat down with Christina for this interview that we did, and that was in the Daily, and she was I was just starting to transition. I just started taking testosterone, and just was really, and was starting to, started making changes at work and making pronoun changes and things like that. And at the end of our interview, I said to her, well, you know, I have to ask you a favor, I have to ask you something. And you know, I explained the whole thing to her, that I was transitioning, and I said, if you use any pronouns, I have to ask that you could use male pronouns. And Christina was just great. She goes, oh, well, do you want to talk about that? She like turns to
Whereas Homocore is more of a production company or promo company, where Ed and his team will go out, find a place, rent that place, find the performers, put the performers together, and then that'll be a show. It's a Homocore show.
You know what homo means? It means same. Same core. We've all got the same core. Same music core. That's us. Homo. He suggested to me that I don't play at places that suggest that I'm homosexual.
Really?
And so I was really afraid to play at places, afraid to play at District 202 for a while. That really pissed me off. It pisses me off now that I refuse to play there. Sometimes I feel really bad. But I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind it now. Homocore. I think it's cool. Homocore! Same core!
if you're inspired and you want something to happen, to create your own stuff it's a really special thing, and you shouldn't be afraid to do it, you know.
That was good, don't you think? I think we got it.
Thanks.
Thanks again, everybody, for coming. Thank you, the Butchies, the Need, and Fashion Sense. And please come see Tribe 8 next Thursday night with Sherman Electric and Stephanie McCarter. That's here at 9 o'clock. And make sure you sign up on the Homocore mailing list so you can find out about other shows in the future and buy lots of stuff from all the bands. Thanks.